Butterfly lips is what glamour model, businesswoman and TV personality Katie Price is calling the lip plumping treatment that she had in February 2023. Katie has of course taken to Instagram to show off her juicy new pout, and she's tagged in the clinic where she had the treatment done, Lift Aesthetics. Katie says that the procedure involved dissolving the filler that was already in her lips and then filling her lips again straight after. Katie was actually due to have a bankruptcy hearing in February 2023. She owes £3.2 million. A lot of that is in the form of the mortgages that she's got on her infamous mucky mansion out in West Sussex. I believe that she had an initial bankruptcy hearing back in 2021 and agreed at that point to start paying back what she owed at the rate of £12,000 a month. However, she hasn't been keeping up with those payments, and she was due to have a second hearing in June last year, but that was put back to February this year, 2023 that is, and it's since been put back again to April 2023, so in 2 months' time. As you will see later in this video, this isn't the first time that Katie has splashed out on beauty treatments while fighting bankruptcy. On that note, between breast augmentations, facelifts, nose surgery, lip surgery, eyelid surgery, a brow lift, surgical enhancement to her bottom and liposuction, one is rather hard pressed to find a plastic surgery procedure that Katie Price hasn't undergone.
So all you women out there who are afraid of being put to sleep and want your face done, this is perfect, and you know I'm squeamish.
In case you don't know, I'm Gina and I'm from London. During her late teens and all through her 20s, Katie was the ultimate lads mag pin-up, and it was all thanks, of course, to her luscious breasts. Katie has had no fewer than a dozen breast augmentation procedures. The first of those was done in 1998 when Katie was 18, taking her from a 32B to a 32C, and then a year later she upsized to a 32D. After spending the next few years upsizing and downsizing her chest, there came a point when Katie had her breast implants completely removed. Katie explained a few months on, after having her breast implants put back in, that she just couldn't get used to seeing her feet whenever she looked down. I believe that same experience was shared by Pamela Anderson and Demi Moore, no less. Those two Hollywood stars also once famously had their breast implants removed, only to subsequently have them put back in again because they just could not get used to having such a small chest. At least one plastic surgeon speculates that, owing to Katie's having had so many breast augmentation surgeries, Katie is likely to have had some corrective breast surgeries as well for things like breastosis, that's sagging, and scars.
So as she moved to that procedure and started adding bigger and bigger implants, what inevitably happens is they become big, droopy breasts, and then she needs lifts and other things that make the surgery more risky, as well as scars.
It turns out that this is spot on. Katie's last breast augmentation surgery was done to correct the one immediately before that, which was done in Turkey. Katie reveals that that was the first time that she'd been to a new surgeon for her breast surgery and that it was a huge mistake. She describes the look of her breasts after that surgery as deformed and stresses that they looked awful. I would question the value, if any, in the non-surgical facelift that Katie underwent in London in 2017 for £5,000. A surgical facelift usually delays facial aging by about a decade, and that's certainly been my own experience. Furthermore, even now in 2023, you can get an excellent surgical facelift in a low-cost country like Turkey or somewhere else for £5,000 or less. A silhouette facelift, also known as an invisible facelift, which is what Katie underwent in London in 2017, involves implanting sutures under the skin and then applying pressure to the sutures in a certain way in order to lift the skin. 2 years after Katie had that procedure, she went to Turkey for a surgical facelift. Another interesting thing about the £5,000 that Katie spent on her very short-lived non-surgical facelift in London in 2017 is that at that same point, Katie was fighting bankruptcy. And please don't ask me how somebody who's written 10 novels, who made a lot of money, I believe, as a glamour model, and who has had a range of other businesses, as far as I'm aware, goes bankrupt, because I don't know. But please don't mistake me, I'm not judging Katie in any way. There was a lot more drama to the plastic surgery that Katie underwent in 2019 than many people may have initially realised. The liposuction that she underwent was to help her get rid of the weight that she'd gained after spending 8 months in a wheelchair. Sometime before then, she'd taken a really horrific fall out in Turkey in which both her feet were broken.
I broke my feet last year, and before that I used to like going running with my music in to keep fit, ride the
So hold on, you
horses.
broke your feet?
Both of them, badly. They got screwed. I can never run again.
Okay.
So it changed my life. I was in a wheelchair for
Yeah, yeah.
basically 8 months, had to learn to walk again.
Yeah.
And then from being in the wheelchair, I put on loads of weight. And for me, I'm not used to that unless I'm pregnant. So I was getting frustrated because all I wanted to do was even walking the dog, I have to go on the bike.
Despite that, her boyfriend of the time, Chris Boyson, who just happens to be a fitness and weight loss consultant, urged her not to have the cosmetic surgery that she ended up having: a tummy tuck, liposuction, facelift and an enhancement to her bottom. He was especially against the liposuction. He told her, and I quote, "It's not a cure, it will just come back. You have to change your mindset." Chris and Katie subsequently broke up, but I'm not saying it was necessarily because of those cosmetic surgery procedures. Katie says that straight after the plastic surgery procedures that she underwent in summer 2021, namely full body liposuction, an enhancement to her bottom, facelift, eyelid surgery and lip surgery, she thought she was going to die because she was in so much pain. And also, she wouldn't let her kids see her for a while after those same surgeries because she felt that with the swelling and the bruising to her face, she looked like a monster. A few weeks later though, she was looking a lot better and feeling a lot better, of course. I'm not sure exactly how many nose jobs Katie has had.
Next thing we look at with Katie is her nose and her face, and we do see changes of that throughout the years. So I think, again, she starts out doing her nose, typical sort of rhinoplasty, wherein it's narrowed in the bridge, narrowed in the tip, lifted a little bit. And then we see her again, that nose progressing a little bit and changing. Some of that in the early part could be swelling coming out of the nose, but then later, as we're seeing more and more changes, probably tweaks to that rhinoplasty.
Katie's fox eye surgery is relatively recent.
When I went to Turkey, the surgeon said, I'm not doing your brow lift because there's not enough to lift, and I'm not doing there, you don't need that for 10 years. So what I had in the end was the cat eye, and I used to have a scar there, and he's just done that.
Just before getting brand new veneers in 2020 in Turkey, Katie showed the pegs or stumps that her teeth had to be drilled down to in order for the veneers to be fitted.
I look like something out of James Bond, the man with the metal teeth.
And before you ask, no, I'm not showing you mine. When Katie got her lip plumping treatment, Butterfly Lips, at Lift Aesthetic in February 2023, she also had her latest dose of Botox. Katie has been getting Botox and fillers for years and years and years, and there have been points where her face has been overfilled and where her eyebrows have appeared frozen.
And some of the photos we see of her, she's a little overplumped, the brow's a little bit frozen. Maybe a little bit too much threading going on.
And also where she herself thinks that her lips were just too big and looked like a duck's lips.
You'll probably see under here, I've still got stitches. Now this is called a lip lift. Now I've tried fillers in my lips and I look like a duck. Every time I do it, I look like a duck like that, and I hate that look.
Right.
You know, you see some girls and their lips are like that, and it's dreadful. I've been there, done it, tried it, don't like it, I had them dissolved.
Speaking of having a puffy and swollen face as a result of having way too much dermal filler, some people have said that the way that Madonna looked at the Grammys of February 2023 shows that she's taken cosmetic enhancements way too far. They don't make her look in any way attractive, they just look unnatural and freakish. Is Katie body dysmorphic?
This is another thing, I'm not addicted, but it's out there, and if I feel like I'm fresh in it, I will. If people want to say I've got body dysmorphia and that, just say it. Even my mum says it, you need to see somebody. You're not normal in the head, are you, Kate?
Is Katie pretty? I believe Katie has had a number of procedures that I haven't covered here because I just can't keep up with them all. If you've enjoyed this video, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.